Okay, let's dive into something we all face, right?
Hmm.
That moment you meet someone new and well, you have to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I don't know, the words just don't quite come or it feels a little, well, awkward.
Oh, definitely. It's
Yeah.
completely natural to feel that little hesitation. I mean, introductions are so important for connecting,
Right.
but finding your footing, it can take practice.
And that is exactly what this deep dive is all about today. We've looked at this really simple, natural chat between two people.
Alex and Riley.
Alex and Riley, yeah, meeting for the first time. And our mission really is to pull out the useful bits, the ideas, the phrases they use.
The shortcut.
Exactly, like a shortcut to help you feel, more comfortable when you're introducing yourself in English.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just walk through how they did it step by step, see how they shared things about themselves, asked questions,
Kept it flowing.
kept it flowing, yeah,
Yeah.
easily. It's a great way to see these techniques like actually working.
So, okay, how did they kick things off? How did Alex and Riley get started?
Well, Riley asked Alex a really classic open question. Just tell me a little about yourself.
Simple, direct.
Yep. And then added, what's something interesting about you? Which I think is a nice touch.
Yeah, that does go a bit deeper, doesn't it? Right away.
It really does. It kind of opens the door, lets the other person share something they're comfortable with, not just facts.
Right, not just reciting things.
And from there, they just naturally started talking about hobbies, interests. Riley mentioned growing up in a small town, loving the outdoors.
Hiking, camping, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And Alex immediately picked up on that, found some common ground.
Said he enjoys nature too, but is more of a beach person.
See? They connected on the big topic, nature, but shared their own specific thing.
Makes it more interesting than just saying, me too.
Exactly. And they kept it going. They asked each other, what else do you like to do? Beyond just nature stuff.
Which is good, shows you can, move around different topics.
Yeah, you don't have to get stuck. So Riley then brought up photography.
Ah, okay.
Said he loves to capture moments, especially when he's traveling. And he used that lovely phrase,
Freeze a memory forever.
yeah, freeze a memory. That's just a really nice way to describe taking photos, isn't it?
It really is. And Alex thought so too. Called it a cool hobby. And then asked a follow-up question
Which is key.
about a favorite place Riley had photographed.
And Riley gave this great specific example. Being in the mountains in winter.
Everything covered in snow.
Yeah. He said it felt like a postcard, got some amazing shots. And sharing a detail like that, it just helps the other person picture it.
Totally. Using those sensory details like the snow or that feeling of a postcard,
Yeah,
it makes it much more relatable, memorable for the listener.
definitely. Then it was Alex's turn. He shared his hobby, cooking.
Said it was kind of my therapy after work.
Yeah, puts on music, tries new recipes. He even mentioned a signature dish,
Oh, yeah. What was it?
pasta with homemade sauces. Said it's been a hit with my friends.
Nice. See, talking about a signature dish, that gives a really specific, concrete example of the hobby.
Right. It's much easier to ask about that than just, oh, you like cooking.
True.
And Riley's response was good, too.
Hmm.
Said he enjoys cooking, but maybe isn't, quite as adventurous. Sticks to easier stuff.
And that's fine. It keeps it relatable. It's not about being some kind of expert.
Exactly. It's just sharing what you enjoy. Then Riley mentioned getting into running.
Running.
Helps him clear his head and stay active. Alex was impressed, apparently.
Yeah, asked about the discipline needed for that.
And this is where Riley shared a really, really useful tip. Not just for running, for anything, really.
Which was?
Setting small goals. Like, just run for 20 minutes to start.
Ah, okay.
He explained that starting small just makes it feel less huge, less overwhelming, and it gets easier over time.
That makes sense.
And he also mentioned running is a great way to explore new places, too.
Small goals. That's quite a powerful idea, isn't it? Breaks down something big, something maybe intimidating, into steps you can actually manage.
Totally. So what you see here with the hobbies is it's not just what they do, it's also why they do it, how it makes them feel.
Right. Even the challenges or tricks they use, like the small goals.
Yeah, it adds depth to the conversation.
So from hobbies, where did they go? Did they talk about work?
They did, yeah. It flowed naturally. Alex asked Riley if photography was his actual job. Riley said, no, it's a hobby for now. And then shared what he actually does.
Which is?
He's a graphic designer, creates logos, illustrations, that sort of thing, for small businesses.
Okay.
Described it as creative and said, it keeps me on my toes.
Keeps me on my toes. That's a good phrase. Means it's, challenging, keeps you engaged.
Exactly. And importantly, Riley then turned the question back. He asked Alex, what about you? What do you do?
Good. Always remember to ask back. Keep it balanced.
Yep. So Alex shared he's a teacher, high school students, teaches history. Admitted it's a challenge sometimes, which I imagine teaching can be.
For sure.
But that he really enjoys it, found it rewarding.
Rewarding. That's another great word. Expresses that positive feeling you get from your work, even with the tough parts.
Definitely. So they've covered hobbies, work, then they touched a bit on daily life.
How so?
Well, Riley asked if Alex's job, teaching, leaves him much free time.
A common question, right? Work-life balance.
Totally. Alex was honest, said it can get busy, especially around exam time, but he tries to make time for his hobbies.
Relatable.
And that led Riley to ask another great question, just to learn more about his routine. Speaking of free time, what's a typical day like for you?
Oh, that's a good one. Gets a little snapshot.
Yeah, Alex described a pretty simple routine. Coffee, working on projects, then unwinding in the evening, reading, maybe watching a good show.
Sounds nice.
He summed it up like, pretty simple, but it works for me.
Which is fine. Doesn't have to be extraordinary.
Not at all. And they even got into favorites briefly. Riley asked about favorite books or shows.
What did Alex like?
Mystery novels and shows with a good storyline.
Okay.
And again, what did Alex do?
Ask the question back.
Asked about, what about you? What do you do to relax? See how that keeps it going. It's a real conversation, not an interview.
Exactly. So hobbies, work, daily life. What else? Did they talk about where they're from?
They did, yeah. Touched on background and past stuff.
Yeah.
Alex asked Riley, where are you from originally?
Classic question.
Yeah. Riley shared he's from a small town, a couple hours away. Said it was the kind of place where everyone knows everyone.
Ah, that small town vibe.
But he also said he always knew he wanted to move to a bigger city, like the energy. So he contrasted his past with his present.
Interesting. And did Riley ask Alex about his past?
He did. Asked him, did you always know you wanted to be a teacher?
Was it always the plan?
Nope. Alex said not at all. He actually thought he'd be a writer. Yeah. Used to jot down short stories, dreamed of getting published.
Wow. So how did he end up teaching?
He realized how rewarding teaching could be when he was tutoring back in college. Funny how paths change, isn't it?
It really is. Does he still write?
Yeah, sometimes. As a hobby. Journaling, poems, essays, stuff like that.
That's cool. So the dream didn't disappear, it just sort of changed shape, became a hobby.
Exactly. And Alex then asked Riley about his journey to graphic design. Did you always see yourself becoming a graphic designer?
And what did Riley say? Same kind of surprise?
Pretty much. Said, not really. Loved drawing as a kid, but just figured it would stay a hobby.
So what changed his mind?
A digital art class in high school. That's when he realized, oh, this could actually be a career.
Huh. It's interesting how one class or one experience can shift things.
Definitely. And Alex made a nice comment then, said how cool it must feel to create something uniquely yours.
That shows good listening, connecting with Riley's passion there.
Yeah. And finally, they got on to future goals.
Okay. Looking ahead.
Alex asked Riley, what's something you're working toward right now? Any big goals?
Good question to ask someone you're getting to know.
It is. And Riley shared he's thinking about getting a master's degree in education.
Oh, wow. Specializing.
Yeah, and teaching English as a second language. Said he sees it opening more opportunities, helping him connect on a deeper level.
That sounds like a really meaningful goal.
It does. And he was open about the challenges too, you know. Time and money, said he's saving up.
It's good to be real about that stuff. Makes the goal feel more grounded.
Totally. And Riley asked Alex about his goals too.
Okay, what's Alex working on?
He wants to improve his public speaking skills.
Oh, interesting. Why?
Because he gets nervous presenting his work to clients. Feels it's holding him back professionally.
Holding me back. That's a useful phrase, isn't it? For something stopping you from progressing?
It is. And public speaking. Well, that's a common challenge for lots of people.
Definitely. Did Riley have any suggestions?
Yeah, he suggested taking a class or maybe joining a group.
How did Alex feel about that?
Found it a bit intimidating, which is understandable. But he thought about starting small.
There's that start small idea again.
Exactly. Like practicing with friends first, or maybe recording himself.
Makes sense. Less pressure.
Right. Riley agreed, said it was a great idea, makes it less overwhelming. Tiny steps, manageable steps. It seems to be a theme.
It really does. Key to tackling big goals or fears.
So they kind of wrapped up the conversation, reflecting on it all, how nice it was to actually talk about these things.
Yeah.
Riley made that point that goals can seem huge, right? Until we break them down.
Mm-hmm. And they agreed on that principle. It's about progress, not perfection.
Yeah, just keep moving forward.
That's such a good mindset.
It is. And their whole conversation really helped them reflect on their journeys, where they are now, what they're hoping for.
And just sharing the little things that make us who we are.
Exactly. Shows how a simple introduction, if you let it, can open the door to some really meaningful connection.
Okay, so let's pull it together. What can you, listening now, really take away from this deep dive into how Alex and Riley talked?
Well, first off, just remember, it is completely normal to feel a bit awkward, especially introducing yourself in a new language.
Totally normal.
Be patient with yourself. Practice really does help you feel more comfortable over time.
Absolutely. Second big takeaway. Use those open questions. Invite the other person to share.
Yeah, things like, tell me a little about yourself, or what do you do? They're perfect starting points.
And then share simple things about your own life, your hobbies, your job, where you're from, what you like to do. You don't need some huge, complicated story.
Not at all. Simple is good. And the essential rule.
Ask questions back.
Yes. Always ask questions back. Keep that conversation flowing both ways. Make it a two-way street.
Definitely. And try to include specific details when you answer.
Right. Like, instead of just, I like to cook, mention your signature dish.
Or instead of I like photography, talk about that favorite place you took a picture.
Exactly. Specifics just make your answers more interesting, easier for the other person to connect with, ask more about.
Yeah, details stick with people. That's a really good point. And, it's okay to share a challenge you're facing.
Or a goal you're working toward.
Yeah, it shows you're a real person. It can actually create a deeper connection sometimes.
You really can. And finally, remember that idea we kept coming back to, starting small.
Yes. Whether it's practicing your English introduction phrases or working towards any goal.
Breaking it down just makes it feel less scary, less intimidating, helps you build confidence step by step.
So really, introducing yourself isn't about giving some perfect, flawless speech. Not at all.
No, it's a skill. You build it with practice by sharing honestly, asking questions.
Just like Alex and Riley showed us. Simple, natural questions and answers. That's how you create a real connection.
And remember their principle: progress, not perfection. Especially when you're learning something new, like getting comfortable introducing yourself in English.
Right. Just take that first step. Keep practicing.
Keep moving forward.
Okay, so here's one final thought to leave you with today. If you were to meet someone totally new, right now, this very minute, what's one small, simple thing about yourself that you could share?